Are we live? Is this actually working? I didn't think I was going to get this to work tonight. I was struggling here for a minute. I think I experienced this exact same thing last week where I scheduled a live and it wouldn't let me in, and that just happened again. So I was, or maybe I wasn't, just YouTubing how to go live on YouTube after you schedule it live on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, we're not going to rant. I'm just glad I'm on here. But yeah, we are going to ramble because that's what we do on Tuesdays. And I've got my little gun bunny back there. I actually got her a little snack to have while we go live this week. Since she's always been such a good sport, I thought I'd give her a little treat. So she's got herself some salad scraps, and she is set up over there. So anyway, I was supposed to say Cody. Cowboy Jeff, what's up? Glad you're on here. Adam, glad you're on here. Josiah, glad you're on here. I am ready to ramble. It it's been an exciting last hour here. So um we've been going to the gym kind of late, so I get a little bit behind on everything on Tuesdays now, but I'm glad to be on here. Jathan, glad you're on here. Astro Guy, what's up from Ohio? Anyway, yeah, it's summer is fast approaching here. It is very much bug season in Georgia already, and I came nose to nose, not really, not literally, but with a cat, not a caterpillar either. Man, I'm all over the place tonight. With a very ugly, disgusting centipede. So I had that happen right before I tried to go live, and then she finished her snack while I was trying to figure out how to make this work. So anyway, we're just all over the place. But I hope y'all are all having a happy Tuesday. Bill, yeah, there was a lot of storms this afternoon, and that is why we are in a hat tonight, because it has been range maintenance week. This past since well, really since last Tuesday. We started everything Wednesday. I thought it was gonna be like a 2-day project, but it took all the way up until today to finish. So we got a full week's worth of work minus I didn't go out there Saturday, but yeah, full week's worth of work. Um, on the range. So I've had several of you ask for an update on the berm that we built out of the house. I'm sure, I think most of y'all have probably seen the video that we posted from July when we decided to build it out. But yeah, we had a lot of maintenance stuff we needed to do. And all I have left is to spray paint the targets. But I did not try to do that today because it was storming. And I decided the paint probably wouldn't stick very well. So yeah. Also, Dixie threw my Uzi bottle. It's a bottle. It's not really an Uzi, but she threw it on the ground. So we did not pick that back up because she would probably just throw it back on the ground again. Anyway, so I want to hear from y'all first before I start going through all the things we did this past week. What y'all get into? What'd you do this weekend? Anything fun? Anything exciting? We are kind of back into a rhythm here on Tuesdays, and I'm excited for it. I also have a video for Thursday. I'm excited. I hope that y'all will enjoy it. It's it's not really the first of its kind that I've done, but I hope to do quite a few more like it. So Dixie was upset. Yeah, Dixie's always upset. She's got a bad attitude. Sorry, Dixie. She's really a good sport, but she also has a bad attitude. She's enjoying her food. I also have so the survival show, we were watching that while we were eating before I hopped on here too. It's race through Alaska, survival, something like that. Survival race through Alaska, something like that. Anyway, it's such a good show. It's such a good show. I was trying to compare it to see if I liked like Alone better or this better or Survivor better, and they're all, I think, like top of their category. They're all really good. So I checked out a new range for a youth shoot. Hey, that's pretty cool. And what was the verdict? Covered Braves Marlins series in Miami. Were you in Miami? That's exciting. Or were you just covering it from home? I am excited because I am pretty sure in August the Braves are playing the Yankees at home, and we'll probably go to that game. I actually have not been to a Braves game at the new stadium. I have been to the Battery and just kind of explored around there. There's a lot of good places to eat if you aren't familiar with the Battery. It's the newer place that the Braves play. So The only time I've ever gone and watched the Braves, it was back at Turner Field. I feel like I'm already out of breath. We gotta hydrate up. But yeah, anyway, so new video coming out Thursday. And then I actually have another one in the hole. So there should be another one coming out pretty quickly following that. And I'm pretty excited. Trying to get back in the rhythm of editing and getting stuff out to you, because there was like a few months, I guess it was 2021, that I actually had videos coming out, if not every Thursday, then sometimes every Tuesday and Thursday. So I will do my best to get something out at least once a week, but I'm excited to at least get something out because it's been a while. North Florida shooter. Picked up a couple of vintage pistols. Hey, that's exciting. Wait, is that a question or is that something you did? Lone. Oh, something you did. Hey, that's exciting. Congratulations. I have picked up a couple of pistols that I'll be sharing with y'all here shortly, but not vintage. I just, if you saw a gun of the day yesterday, I did just get Springfield Armory's Hellcat Pro with the external safety, and that's a whole nother discussion. I'm not going to go too deep into that because that may or may not be kind of what the video is about for tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Thursday. I have till Thursday. But yeah, anyway, it's a video about the Hellcat Pro with the external safety. And then again, that is a discussion, right? A lot of people are anti external safety, or not external safety, but manual safety. And a lot of people love them. So if y'all want to talk about that, we can. There's a million and two reasons why they're great and not great, right? My wife picked up Brewer tickets for a game in June for my birthday. Hey, that's exciting, Adam. I'm excited for you. Colton, glad you're on here. I carry a 365 XL with manual safety. Hey, manual safety. I may or may not have also gotten a phone call from a local range and gun store that a 365 with my name on it is there waiting. I called them about the 365 Rose. I think back in February. I was hoping to get it before Valentine's Day because, I mean, a rose for Valentine's Day, right? Why not? But yeah, I just got a call today and it's ready. So I will be going to get that here in the next couple of days. The range is great for us. The president of the range wants us to do it. The other members will vote on our youth shoot or not, but the president is very on board. Hey, that's exciting. If you got the president on board, that's huge in itself. Well, happy anniversary, early anniversary, and happy early birthday too. We can celebrate next Tuesday. I actually think that I beat the system on figuring out how to operate this whole YouTube thing because I figured it out tonight. And I didn't just try to start a new one like I did last week and then send y'all a link to it. I figured it out. I did have to watch 3 YouTube videos though to figure it out, but because the first 2 had nothing to do with what the actual problem was, and that's half the battle, right? It's actually figuring out what the actual issue is. So anyway, I figured it out, and then it took a lot of clicking, and then my computer is just has a mind of its own. So I realized a few months ago none of my carry guns have safety. Didn't plan on it, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, I actually, well, no, I'm trying to think. I have a couple that have external safeties. I don't typically use them though, or not external, manual safeties. I don't typically use them. I also don't necessarily carry those guns anymore. I'm trying to think through this. Anyway, you know, I have carried them that have them and I have not used the safeties, but it's something that if you want the safety, they have them, it's great. If you don't want the safety, it has it, it's great. You don't have to use it. So yeah, I don't know. It's a good option though. 41. That's gonna be a great year, I can already tell. All of your carry guns have safeties and you're okay with it. Okay, this is kind of cool because we've had two people speak up about their guns having either having or not having safeties so far. I watched a lot of videos about this, right? Because I feel like you see both sides of it pretty I don't know. It's like one way or the other. So like you have people that are like, no, my finger is my safety, my trigger finger is my safety, or you have the people that are like, you can't carry a gun without a safety. Um, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. I like hearing other people's thoughts, but my opinion is it is an extra step, but if you train with it, it's great. And if having the manual safety is going to encourage you or make you comfortable enough to carry a gun, absolutely you should have it. And so I think it's a pretty great thing that they came out with this version that has it. So I love my no safety shield plus. There you go. Awesome. Like I didn't go out looking for manual safeties, but looking for 1911s without manual safeties is just a headache. Yeah, definitely. When I was thinking through what I have that has manual safeties, that's kind of what popped into my head. Like, oh yeah, I do have quite a few 1911s in my collection, and they do all have the manual safeties on them. So cocked and locked. I have a magazine safety on my 22. I can use either manual safeties or not. I keep my finger off the trigger until I'm ready to shoot. Hey, you know what? That's the first battle, right? As long as you train correctly and you do keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot, as you should. That's kind of the first battle, right? So your finger can very much be your safety, but again, if a manual safety makes you comfortable, it's a great option. Absolutely okay with it. Having a safety. I can't read that. Just happened that way. Either is okay. Yeah, I agree. I don't know, but sometimes, like I said, I've been watching a lot of videos with people's opinions about this, and there a lot of people seem to be very, at least the video reviewers seem to be very anti safety, or they don't use one themselves. But I have no complaints either way. I have guns with them. I have guns without them. Max, what's up? Glad you're on here. I'm trying to figure out how to start a topic about something else because I don't want to give away all my opinions on the Hellcat Pro with the manual safety before I actually drop this video for y'all. Otherwise, you're already gonna know what I have to say, right? Dixie, speak up. We need a new topic. I carry Kimber Micro 9 or Desert Eagle, cocked and locked and ready to rock. There you go. I think the FN 502 is the first one with a manual I bought. I love it, but every time I use it, I forget to flip it off. There you go too. So, yeah, I have tested several safeties for the exact same reasons, especially if you're like switching types of guns. Like I think I've talked about this before, but when I did the 2022s last year, um, there were so many different kinds of 22s that we were shooting back to back to back to back to back that I was like, I would pick something up to shoot it and I would like just do the complete wrong thing because the one before it was a pump action or this one was a slide you had to rack or this one was a revolver. And like by the end of the day, my brain was so confused from shooting 20 different weapons that shoot 20 different ways. It was pretty wild, but yeah. That's why it's good, especially with something that you're using every day, to be very comfortable with it, or every day taking a few extra moments to do some dry firing before you leave. Good idea too. Not that I always do it. I should probably be better about that, but full disclosure, I should probably be better about a lot of things. Military beat it into our heads to keep the fingers away from the trigger. Good. Good on them. The front fork of my wheelchair broke off today. Oh no! 24 hours after you got a bunch of other things fixed. Oh no. Sounds like you're having the same trouble that I was having with my truck. But knock on wood, I think my desk might be fake wood though. It has not had any other issues. And I am registered and tagged, and everything is ready to rock on my truck right now. So I'm gonna knock on this fake wood again, then nothing else happens because I really don't want to deal with it. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I actually saw, I can't remember who posted it, but I think I saw somebody's story about ketchup flavored Doritos. And while I think it is absolutely wonderful that ketchup flavored Doritos are a thing, I don't know if I can ever get on board for ketchup flavored Doritos because I like dipping my nacho cheese Doritos in ketchup. And that is just instilled in my head because that's just the best way to do it. Anyway, I do need to try those. I've not tried them yet. So maybe before I go live next week, I'll grab myself some Doritos and we can do a taste testing on here because that might be fun too. Where do all the gun of the days come from? Great question, right? That is one of probably the most asked questions about gun of the days. They come from a little bit of everywhere though. So some of them are from Moss Pawn. They'll call me when they get something really cool in. They actually had a crazy collection of all sorts of historic guns come in last year, and several of them came from that. I've got friends. Believe it or not, guys, I have a few friends that have some really interesting things. So it's been kind of a community project. Every now and then I'll go over to Autry's. They're not too far from me, and they're a local gun store. So when they get things in, they'll call me, or I'll just go by and see what they got if they've got something I haven't featured yet. Yeah, a little bit of everywhere though. A little bit of everywhere. I'm also actively growing my um, collection of firearms. Believe it or not, gun of the day has been very bad for my wallet, right? So, like I said, Moss Pond got a pretty interesting collection in last year, and going there to take pictures of them, I'm like, oh, I kind of need to go home with this. Oh, that's really not that expensive. Let's grab this. And it's like, this is becoming a very expensive hobby. But yeah, very interesting too. Nacho cheese Doritos and cream cheese. Haven't tried that, but could be interesting. I think I'll have to try it your way then. Then hot mustard Doritos are even better. Is hot mustard Doritos a thing, or hot mustards that you dip the Doritos in? I need to know. Gotta go get a missions test tomorrow. I hope it goes well for you. I was so nervous about getting mine done because they told me that I needed to drive a certain amount of miles after getting my engine fixed before I would pass. And I was so nervous because I didn't want to have to pass and then not be able to get my tag, just all the things that would come along with that, and then have to repeat the entire process and pay for it again. So I drove it around probably a little bit longer than I should have. um, and yeah, anyway, it passed. Everything went well. But I was kind of peeking over the guy's shoulder, like trying to watch as he did all the tests. And the most important one where we turned it off, turned it back on, and it read all of that stuff, I didn't get to watch. But I was like standing back, like, there's nothing wood to knock on here, but I hope it goes well. Wait a minute, you don't own them all? No, I don't actually own them all. I wish I did. There's quite a few really awesome things in the collection. There's quite a few that are mine though. And honestly, even if I did own all of them, I probably would not say I own them all because, you know. But no, I don't own all of them. I wish I did. Maybe one day. I got a long list of things that I'm wanting to own. That's for darn sure. We don't pay for emissions test, and it's required every 2 years. Hey, that's nice. I have to pay every year, and it's done every year. But it's not done. I think you get 3 years before you have to do it, and then if you're like a county over for me, you don't have to. Really, if you're like 10 minutes down the road from me, you don't have to. So it's kind of annoying. Plus, like half the cars you see driving around here clearly don't pass emissions, but since they aren't in the same county as me, they don't have to. But yeah. Kind of annoying. Howard, Titanic, and Sixth Sense alike. I see dead people. That's funny. That's a good one. Are we telling jokes in here now? That could be fun. Oh, I forgot to fix this. Except it's working. Never mind. I was about to say sometimes I mess up how the chat shows for me, but I actually got it right this time. That's nice. We're learning. Also, Brown L's BOP represent. I'm wearing my colors tonight. Again, mostly because this hair is absolutely unacceptable after working outside all day. Puppy turned 3 May 3rd. How that exciting? That's exciting. Happy birthday, pup. Okay, so most of y'all don't have emissions tests. Is that true? We absolutely have to do this every single year now that my truck is more than 3 years old. So, kind of annoying, but it's like happy birthday. You get to go pay to get your truck done, and now you get to go get your tag. How cool. I used to always think that it was related to Christmas because my dad's birthday is just a couple of days before Christmas. So every year it would come up to where he needed to go get tags and stuff for the vehicles. So I'd go with him and stand in line, and he would pay like all this money for all the vehicle tags. And he had motorcycles at that point. So it's just a bunch of tags. And I just thought it was something that happened at Christmas. But nope, birthdays. It is another pointless tax. Bill, you don't have emissions where you're at? I think I just need to move. Yep, I think I just need to move. Be nice. But yeah, so I think I was saying this earlier. I've had a bunch of people asking about range updates or the house berm we built at the house. So that's what we've been doing since last Wednesday. And it's very nice and convenient that there's not really service over there. Good night. I hope you have a good night. Thanks for being on here. It's really nice that we don't have service over there, but it's also kind of inconvenient because I don't even know how many phone calls I might have missed, or text or anything else. But yeah, I've basically been there since last Wednesday, so I've got a ton of work I need to catch up on. But we've been doing everything from I don't even know what the right word is. We're not really excavating, but we're like changing up the angle, not the angle, the slope. So the slope of the bottom of the bay area is just a little bit too harsh, and we've been got a tractor out there. Charlie, I don't know if Charlie's on here tonight, but Charlie's been helping. Thank goodness for Charlie. He has a tractor, and he brought it out for us. It's got a bucket and a box spreader in the back of it, so we've been driving back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I did some of it, but Charlie did a lot of it. And and just trying to get it as flat as possible because a couple of months after we got the range finished, we realized that the slope was just kind of crazy harsh, and we were having trouble. The target stands weren't sitting flat, so we had to like consolidate and shoot in a smaller area. And anyway, we've got it fixed. And like I said earlier, all I've got left to do is repaint the targets because they are, I got them from X Steel. I got a bunch of steel from X Steel, and they're all a signature X Steel orange, which is kind of like this color orange. Actually, I don't know if that's showing up the right color. Are we familiar with Hooter Shorts orange? Because it is definitely that color orange. And being in Georgia with our red clay, the bright orange targets actually don't stand out that much. So I think I'm actually going to just go with white targets because you'll definitely be able to see those. They'll definitely stand out with the red clay. But yeah, we're changing the color. I like orange too, but my dad, it's his least favorite color. Funny story, I don't know if I've ever told this one, but growing up, when my dad was I wasn't alive at this point, but I've heard this story so many times that I feel like I can tell it. Growing up, my brother is a couple years or 4 years older than me. But when my dad was teaching him colors, he taught him red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and ugly. And ugly was orange. And my grandparents just absolutely love that, being Tennessee fans, but he was funny. Bill, we know you know what Hooters orange is. But yeah, the orange just doesn't show up on our red clay. So getting that fixed up, we also pushed back into the woods that was right behind the shooting bay area. So now we can actually sight in rifles from back there. And we'll probably bring a little bit more dirt and level that out. So we've got a good place to sit, eat, have picnics. We always do Mother's Day at the range. So we're getting set up for that because that is coming up very quickly. And I've got to figure out what I need to get my mama. Anybody got ideas? Anybody got something like a tradition you always do? For us, I don't know if you just heard, but we do Mother's Day at the range, and this will be our first Mother's Day at the range at our home shooting bay, which I'm pretty excited for. Are you in? I'm sorry, I don't know how eRush 69 agrees about the steel, and he may paint, he or she, I can't really tell from your picture, but may paint your steel white too. So are you in Georgia? Do you have red clay, or are you somewhere else? My favorite colors are red, green, and white. Those are Christmas colors almost. JC, what's up? Glad you're on here, and I'm sorry you missed last week's live. I wish I could tell you what we talked about, but we talk about a lot of things and ramble mostly about a lot of things. So, yeah, glad you made it on tonight. I'm late per usual. Buy Rapidfire Mom a Sig MCX spear. Last year my Mother's Day video had my mom shooting the Raging Judge, which a lot of people enjoyed watching. So maybe we'll do that again too. Get her shooting something big or fun. Cartersville. Oh, Eric. I know I've seen your name on here before, but it's good to see you on here. So we got some Atlanta people, or well, Cartersville. I am pretty excited that it's coming back to Atlanta too. Um, I'm still bummed that I missed Nashville's because it was canceled. But anyway, I like Mother's Day at the range. However, my wife and mother won't, so I'll won't. um, yeah. So for us, we started doing Mother's Day at the range when we were kids. That way, my dad could kind of entertain us, and we always got a picnic. Some sort of like fast food lunch, but a picnic lunch, brought it out to the range. That way, my mom didn't have to cook anything, didn't have to do any dishes. We also didn't have to sit and wait for a restaurant because Lord knows they're always extremely busy on Mother's Day. And then nobody, not a soul, is ever at the range on Mother's Day except us. So we always had the range to ourselves. Never had to worry about anybody trying to share space with us. And it was just always a good time. A lot of memories doing that. We also used to do Father's Day at the mall, but that kind of fell off. It was any mall that had a Bass Pro Shops because that was how we could drag my dad to the mall. But yeah, that's kind of the playoff that we did. My sister, she's doing well. We've got a terrain race. I know we talked about this recently. We've got a terrain race coming up in June that I desperately need to actually start training for because right now I'm still having trouble running from my Achilles situation, my Achilles disaster is what we're going to call it. But I actually jogged. I've been like doing a little bit of running lately. I've been doing a lot of walking slowly uphill at the gym, but I actually ran. I've been running just a tiny bit every day with Monty because he loves to run. He gets so excited. He gets like big energy spurts. They never last very long, but it's always really fun. So I've been running with him just a little bit, and we've got the train race coming up. I don't know what else is gonna that's gonna entail other than running and I think like helping each other over obstacles, but that should be a lot of fun. And then mom, what does she enjoy doing the most? Um, Great question. I think it depends. She's really been enjoying gardening lately, so We've got quite a few things we need to do for her. That actually could be something that we finish maybe before Mother's Day, get some of her plants in the ground. I love the Power Rangers and Mighty Morphing Power Rangers. Well, that's cool. Get Mom a cannon. I feel like most of y'all's ideas that you're throwing out here, my dad would be 100% on board. And he's got a golf ball cannon, an actual, like, it could shoot golf balls. We've been going to build like a carriage for it. Probably something for Father's Day, though, maybe not Mother's Day. I looked online trying to find a raging judge the other day, and they are expensive. Yes, if you can even find them, they're very expensive. And then 410's been a little bit hard to find, too. How about getting Mom a 12 gauge pump with a flamethrower attachment for her birthday? You know what? Her birthday is also in May. So this Mother's Day, well, you added Mother's Day down there. Mother's Day and Mom's birthday, they don't ever bump into each other because her birthday is right before Memorial Day weekend. Sometimes it's on Memorial Day weekend, but this time it's Friday before Memorial Day weekend, or Friday of Memorial Day. We're having trouble talking. Water break. Anyway, but yeah, so she kind of doubles up on Mother's Day and birthday. I haven't found 410 since 2020. Ouch. I haven't used a lot of 410 since 2020, so I haven't had to look for any, but yikes. I'm kind of an opportunist to where, like, sometimes I don't necessarily need ammo, but if I walk into Academy and they've got some, it's coming home with me. Or if I see a really good deal, I'm buying it. But yeah, I've noticed it's been harder to find, but I haven't needed it. So yikes. It's still a shame. I haven't kept up with the Power Rangers recently, so I did not know that. Is that the vodka break? Is that what are we doing with vodka? This is a drinking game, right? No. Is this a drinking game? I thought the only thing that we make bets on and stuff is me being late, which I have been consistently forever since the beginning of going live. So, other than that, if there was a drinking game, I didn't know. I did not know. But no, this is water and hydration, and it's not apple cider vinegar water this time. And I will, fingers crossed, not be dumping anything on my computer tonight like I did last week, because that kept me up all night. Charlie, what's up? We already talked about you and tractors on here earlier. So Charlie's in the house. He is the one that was helping us with tractors, tractoring. I don't know if there's another word for that. Being late is better than not at all. I'm glad you think so. I actually almost gave up tonight because I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost 10:30. I still can't figure out how to make this daggum computer work. But I got it. I got it. And I don't think I'll be having that trouble anymore. So I think I can actually schedule ahead. I think I can. Good night, Eric. Thanks for being on here. I hope you have a great week as well. But yeah, so whew. Swamp Dog Armory, thanks for being on here for a second, and I hope y'all are enjoying Taco Tuesday. We actually had tacos for lunch today, venison tacos. Yeah, let me know. Let's do it. That'd be fun to do. I feel like I was on quite a few podcasts last year, but this year has been a lot of slower in that regard. But I think I talked about this last week too. I was just on Rapid Fire Radio, which was pretty cool. I had a whole hour slot. Was that last week? I can't remember if that was last week or the week before. It all kind of runs together, right? But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was good to be back on there. Last time I had a 15-minute segment. This time it was an hour. And rambling is fun when it's by yourself to a screen talking with y'all, but it goes a lot. An hour goes a lot faster. Excuse me. Hour goes a lot faster when you're rambling with somebody else. Now I got the hiccups. What in the world? I'm watching two TVs. Yours, mine in the background. Yeah, I actually kind of keep getting distracted by it myself. But I kind of hate that if I turn it off, then it's just reflection. So anyway, yeah, I have on or I had on the survival race to or through Alaska. I can't remember how it's worded, but I really hope they do a second season of this. I probably would not actually try out, but every time I watch it, I'm like, oh man, I could do this, I could do that. And then I like take a step back and I'm like, oh, your Achilles isn't even great as it is. And that's a lot of altitude. And I may or may not have had trouble when we were hiking in Montana. So maybe I wouldn't do it, but it is really cool to watch. And I really hope they continue on with that show. Because they have had a lot of survival shows in Alaska and a lot of weird variations of them, but this is definitely one of the better ones. And I keep trying to compare it to Alone, but it's nothing like Alone. It's very much its own show, which I think is cool too. Because they're after Alone aired, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ramble on this for a little bit. After Alone aired, there were several other survival type shows that tested your ability to be by yourself. I can't remember what the one was called, but it was kind of weird. Whatever it was kind of weird, and you could go on and search and find somebody else to like join up with and team up with, but that one was weird. So, and they'd only had one season, but this one's very cool. I've really been enjoying this. It's an actual race. It's if you haven't watched it, it's kind of like Amazing Race meets Survivor meets Alone meets what else does it meet? Yeah, maybe those. But it's very much its own show. Just noticed the bunny on the dresser. That's because she sits so still sometimes. And she's eaten all but two pieces of her treat. So she's probably like trying to get my attention to give her some more. But I'm not going to do that, Dixie. Not going to do that. Sorry. She's already had too many treats. um, we have a local place that makes 38 special and it's only like 15 for 50 rounds. Hey, there you go. 24 watching and 16 likes. Oh, Swamp Dog Armory calling them out for me. I have Rachel live on my TV and also watching. Oh, I already read that one. Oh wait. No, you said it two times. That's kind of cool. So I'm actually on like a big screen TV every now and then, or I guess every time. My husband's so sweet, right? So at pretty much every time I drop a video, I'll like walk in the room and he'll have it up on our TV. I don't know how big our TV is, but it's a good size. And so I'll walk in there and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's me on TV." And then we'll watch the video together on the TV, which is always just kind of fun. So, I don't know. It's just kind of fun. Smash time. What's up? Glad you're on here. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for saying hello. Um Are you watching the golf channel back there? No. I don't watch the golf channel. Not my thing. I don't really even understand golf. I'm just survive race to survive Alaska. That's what it's called. Anyway, it just told me what it's called. So there we go. Passed me off when Alcatraz got canceled after one season. I'm gonna assume that mean I'm gonna assume you mean pissed you off. I did not watch that, but that's pretty cool. Do you have a dinosaur target of steel? Yes, I do actually. X Steel has some really cool shapes of targets. One being, it's not really a T Rex because it's got spiky head, but one being a dinosaur. So I obviously naturally had to go pick those up. I actually think they're on clearance, and they're only like $20. So if anybody, maybe it was 25. It was somewhere in like the two range though, like 20, 25, maybe 28, something like that. Um, I could have sworn it was only 20. Anyway, if any of y'all have ever wanted a dinosaur steel target, X still has them if they still have them. What's everyone's opinion about OnlyFans? Blue and white is the colors of the website. I assume you're talking about OnlyFans, right? Anyway, does anybody want my opinion about OnlyFans? I don't have an OnlyFans. I will probably never get one. I think it has too bad of a stigma, but I also think the same stigma that OnlyFans has is the stigma that Patreon had. And now for some reason Patreon is more accepted and OnlyFans is still typically thought of as like a certain kind of content. Anyway, I don't know. It's interesting. Is it only cans? I'm confused. We're talking about only fans or only cans? And is only cans even a thing? OnlyFans is from porn stars as porn stars from Wish. Interesting. You know, I'll have to add this too. I know several people that post respectable content. I actually don't know if I know what they tell me they post, and they do very well on there. So, you know, more power to them if that's what you want to do. Sure, but not my thing. I think that again, the stigma is just too much for it. So I'm it's not something I'm ever going to do. But I do have a Patreon. I love my Patreon supporters so much because I really owe y'all a lot and a lot of content. And we're gonna get that going again here. I actually have a whole bucket of I had a whole bucket of stuff, right? So I've been meaning to revamp my Patreon as far as like what we do over there and have like monthly giveaways and all this stuff because really it's awesome that y'all are supporting me in any way anyway. So I want to be able to give back, especially when I do get to pick up like patches from certain events or stuff like that. Sometimes I get really good gear too. And sometimes I just pick up stuff that I think y'all might like. So anyway, we're working on building that back up. I just need to take like 24 hours and just type it all up. But sitting in front of a computer is not my favorite thing. Anyway, so yeah, I don't have an OnlyFans. I do have a Patreon. Just not my thing. Just not my thing. What movies or TV shows do you think have the best firearm handling or maneuvers? Oh man. I'm gonna have to think on that and bring something back for you. Best firearms handling and maneuvers. Hmm. If anybody else has something that they think was just exceptional, please let me know. I've been watching a lot of older movies lately. Last night we watched. Has anybody seen Big? It's got I was about to say Hank Williams. That's not right. Tom Hanks in it. No guns that I recall. But anyway, I've been enjoying watching older movies. I think last week we were talking about Murder in Coweta County, which is like I think it's from the 80s, but it's made to represent something that happened in the 1940s, and very interesting. There's all okay, yeah, Philip. There is all kinds of OnlyFans content. I know, like I said, I know several people that post content that is not any sort of porn, but again, it's just a stigma for me that I don't post. And whatever I could post on there, I would just post on Patreon instead. So, and there's a lot of platforms like that, right? Like there's OnlyFans, there's I can't remember the other one, but it's similar to OnlyFans. You know, it's just kind of whatever people get behind. But like I said before, the same stigma that OnlyFans has currently is what Patreon kind of had when it started. But I don't know. It seems like it's sticking to it. Fansly. Yeah, there like I said, there's a bunch of other sites like that. So Pyrotech 56 in the chat is one of my Patreon supporters, and I definitely appreciate you. He specifically helps fund any sort of explosions that we do. Okay, so what about the John Wick movies? I am going to say something that may make some of you question me. I've actually never seen any of the John Wick movies. I have been waiting to watch them all like consecutively, right? So I was talking to some people a couple of weeks ago about John Wick, and they were kind of telling me what to expect. But yeah, I haven't seen any of them. I've heard a lot of good things about them. I think it's pretty cool that Keanu Reeves actually trains before doing the movies. So I am curious to see like how they do. I know a lot of people have great things to say about them, but I haven't seen any of them. So um, kind of what I started to talk about though was all these older movies, right? So I I don't know if I just should like self-appoint myself as a movie critic or what, but I see like ratings on movies and I'm like, I don't know how it got that rating. Or I watch a movie and I'm like, wow, that was great. Original thought, original plot, original characters, like everything was great and wasn't overly animated, wasn't they didn't use CGI too much. Anyway, and then they get like a crazy bad rating. So we were watching last week we were watching Murder in Coweta County, and this last night we were watching Big, which I don't know what year it was made, but Tom Hanks was pretty young, so it's been a minute. I think it was it was definitely pre Forrest Gump. But anyway, it was a great movie, and I was thinking about it today, like they just don't come up with movies like this anymore. I don't know if it's that we need more books for them to like get spin-offs of, or if I don't know what it is, but they just don't make good movies about like simple thoughts anymore. And if they do have a good movie or something to expand on, like the Jurassic Park series, they take it and they use CGI, and they actually, instead of making using CGI as a tool to make something more realistic, they actually take CGI and they changed Jurassic Park into Jurassic World, which is it's just not as good. Like it's less realistic now than it was in 1993. And you would think with the technology, they'd be able to take the movie and make it even more realistic. But instead, it's just kind of like any other Chris Pratt movie, where it's just too much action and very unrealistic scenes with airplanes. Kind of disappointing. The more I look back at it, the more I don't really love the Jurassic World series following Jurassic Park. Like a lot of it I do love, just because the dinosaur fan side of me loves it. But Holly weird. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. Sharknado is Sharknado is an exception of its own because it's just weird. It's just weird and fun. But like so sci-fi, you can get away a little bit more with a sci-fi movie than you can with other movies, right? And like some of the superhero movies, like of course they can do some CGI stuff with that because it's superheroes. It's supposed to be supernatural. You're not supposed to believe that this is real. Because most of us can't just like shoot laser beams out of our eyes, or like, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about it while I was watching these older movies, and I'm like, man. Also, it didn't help that we were listening to I was telling y'all about this last week too. There's a podcast called Trailblazers with Walter Isaacson, an original podcast by Adele Technology. That's the end of it. Anyway, we were listening to one while we were driving around Saturday, and it was actually about the movie industry and CGI and animation. And it was really interesting. It was actually the first of the podcasts that had no shockers in it for me. Like every time they started to describe something, I'm like, oh, they're talking about Star Wars. Oh, they're talking about Jurassic Park. Oh, they're talking about Avatar. It was really easy to follow, but I think that's maybe what made me start thinking about all of this. Anyway, sorry, I'm definitely rambling. Get me talking about movies. Adam, you're disappointed that I haven't seen John Wick. I am gonna watch them eventually. I'll let you know when I do. Not for you is understandable. I have a Facebook, Twitter. Oh, you don't have Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media. YouTube is the only place you will find me. Well, Philip, I'm glad you found me on YouTube. We're glad to have you. Where are we at? Movies today are very shallow. The actors lack enthusiasm and charisma, and directors seem like they're rushing production. Yes, 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 and yes. And it's also then crazy to see how much they say they're spending on these movies. Like, it's insane to think, but all of that has to be on the animation or the CGI side of things, because otherwise, like, I don't know what they're paying for. Like, it's just weird. Also, shout out for you actually watching Zombievers. One of the weirdest, but like must watch in your lifetime movies. I appreciate all of those. What was the last book I read? Oh boy. Okay, don't make fun of me, but I actually think the last book I read was one about Bernese mountain dogs. I have several books that I'm going to be reading here shortly. I'll let y'all know as I do. But yeah, if I remember right, the last one I read and finished was one about Bernese mountain dogs. And that was here not too long ago. Just to kind of give me an idea about the breed and stuff to expect as Monty grows up. I'm tired of so much overused CGI. Me too. It has gotten ridiculous. And like, it's like they spend so much time and effort working on one CGI scene that they spend tons of money on, and it doesn't change the movie in any way except make it less realistic. It's kind of crazy. They're so the thing about original ideas is that they could actually come up with original ideas if they like sat and thought about it for a little while. And there are way too many remakes, and none of the remakes are ever any better, in my opinion. I think towards the end, scientists will figure out DNA and bring back dinosaurs and offer to change our DNA for. You could be very right. Who knows? There's a lot of weird stuff happening right now. We live in a very weird world, y'all. Um, so I will probably go see The Little Mermaid, but I'm not excited about it. I love Disney movies, especially the classics from when I was growing up. And honestly, the older ones too. We have Disney Plus. We get it for free through our phone service, I believe. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't pay for it, except when stuff is happening with like The Mandalorian and whatnot. But yeah, I am excited to see that movie. I'm excited to see it, but I think it's gonna be terrible. I saw the stuff they did with the fish with Flounder, and it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be interesting. Big is a cool movie. Half the people involved were on cocaine. Um, interesting. It is a good movie though, and like the more I watch his movies, the more I think Tom Hanks might be one of the best actors ever. He's really good at what he does. Speaking of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, I watched a video on YouTube of someone trying to make all the dinos more realistic looking, but it was a waste of time. So they didn't accomplish it. Pocketing that money for themselves and skimping on production quality. Yep, that could very much be it too. Writer strike is the best thing to happen. Isn't there's a writer strike going on now, right? If you like Big, watch The Burbs. Cool, I have not seen that yet, so I will put that on the list. Um, JC, I don't know what those movies are, so I don't. Yeah, I don't know. um, if dinosaurs do start to appear, yes, let's absolutely get me a dinosaur. I would appreciate that. Until then, I've got turtles and yard snakes and lizards. And eventually, I'm hoping to maybe get like a tortoise or something, like an actual tortoise. Anyway, trying to catch up on comments. Heard of a company working to bring back the woolly mammoth within the next 5 years. I could actually see that happening, right? Because I think they're pretty genetically close to elephants. I don't know that we should be messing with that kind of stuff, but it'll be interesting, right? It'll be interesting. Hope you can see the actors with how dark they made the movie. Oh boy, okay. Rachel, you should ask if you can use your flamethrower on a tank and see if you can stop it. I thought Hootie Hoo would be here. On a tank, like you want me to try to flamethrow a tank and get it to stop? Is that the question? Or oh boy. And a lot of times Adam Hootie Hoo does stop by, but maybe not tonight. But yeah, I've got follow-up questions about this tank versus the flamethrower thing. I think we talked about this too. If any of y'all are okay with subtitles and you haven't already watched All Quiet on the Western Front, you should absolutely go watch All Quiet on the Western Front. It was wonderful in like the saddest way possible. But it is all in German. You can do the dubbed, but listening, they put British accents over the German soldiers, and that just like wasn't correct in my head. So I'd rather just read the entire movie. But yeah, anyway, Molotov can stop a tank if it goes in the intake. In the intake. Okay, so that level, budget level for film production is much higher than my current one at the moment. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do to get to that level, but maybe I just start pumping out some like smaller movies and we work our way up to being able to flamethrow a tank, right? But goals, I like the way you're thinking, big, right? But not quite where I'm at. A car that is more doable in the foreseeable future, but also there's things that will explode on a car that I've seen explode on a car when you shoot them with a flamethrower. That it was not a car that was driving. But yeah, there are pieces that will explode. So not not really something I'm trying to do. I think in the particular car that we were flamethrowing at that range day, it was an airbag that heated up and then exploded. So I can only imagine if there's like a fuel tank and other things. Yeah, I'm not really trying to be that close to it if it's exploding. Anyway, but I like the way you think. Maybe we work our way up to this tank situation. Maybe we can make that happen one of these days. But we'll start with something small. Um, interesting. Oh, you want okay? We got somebody that watched All Quiet with the English subtitles. Brandon Herrera is probably on the level of burning a tank with a flamethrower and seeing what happens. So maybe we make that suggestion to him. Maybe I'm just there for observation. Patrick, what's up? Glad you're on here. Bill is trying to do more voiceovers for national radio spots and movie previews. Hey, that'd be pretty cool. I hope to hear you on a movie near me soon. I don't know if I said that correctly, but okay. So I think there are people that I don't know if this is true, but I think there are people that like watch movies like with y'all kind of thing, and or you can like watch movies and then like give opinions on them. I don't know. I feel like that might be kind of fun. But also my opinions kind of like evolve too. So sometimes I'll watch a movie and I'll be like, that was great. But the movie wasn't really great. And then like an hour later, I'm like, actually kind of hated this, that, this, and that. That was I will say that was kind of my process. It was like a process of figuring out how I actually felt about the Jurassic Worlds because I was so excited about watching specifically the last one that just came out last year. I was so excited about watching it that I left thinking that I liked the movie. I didn't love the movie. I knew immediately I didn't love the movie. But, I left thinking like, "Oh, it was pretty good. It wasn't what I would have done, but it was pretty good." And then, like, the more I, like, let it sink in, the more I was like, "Actually, this was garbage. This was terrible. They kind of ruined everything." But, you know. Used by a bunny. Yep. And Dixie is back in her little spot back there. When I'm not interacting with her, that's where she has to sit because if I put her on the ground, she will eat my TV cord as well as any other cord that I can get. And she sometimes tries to pull up the carpet, so she can't be unsupervised, but she can be up there. She had a snack here earlier. Um, I'm sorry, I just read this and I didn't even have to read it out loud, but JC asked if anyone's seen the preview for the Meg 2. I've not seen the preview, but I am there for the movie. A good shark movie. It was okay. The latest John Wick was better. I'm gonna go see Fast X when it comes out. Hopefully it's good. I hope it's good too. Um, they filmed quite a few of the Fast and Furiouses around Atlanta, and I actually got to go on. What was it? It was I was doing something with. This was years ago. Oh man. All I know is it ended up being Vin Diesel's birthday. Vin Diesel and like the director's birthday or something, and the local Harley dealership was giving them a gift. So I got to go out there for that, and it was pretty cool. And I got to work another thing, and we got to sit on the rocks giant trailer that he has set up as his gym, which is cool because it's legitimately set up exactly like the gyms that he posts on his Instagram. So that was pretty cool. Um, and they had the filming calendar on that trailer that we were in. So I was like, oh cool, they're gonna be in Switzerland this day and they're gonna be over here this day. It was just neat to see. So that was like shoot, that was probably like 7 years ago now. Crazy. I see a movie and I'm so wowed, but then after talking to my friends, they bring me back down to earth. Yeah, that happens to me quite a bit. And I actually love talking. Like my husband and I, we like watching movies and shows together because then we spend like another 30 minutes talking about them and like things that we think they should have done differently. I like to think that I should have been a movie critic, but I really shouldn't have because I don't think I would line up with any of the current movie critics and how things are. Because my Rotten Tomatoes would be way different than the actual Rotten Tomatoes actual scores of things. Like for me, if I am not a prude in the fact that like you can't cuss around me kind of thing, but if I watch a movie and there's just like unnecessary like foul language, to me it's a waste of my time because it's if it doesn't make sense to have certain words in certain places, then why was it in the script? Are we just trying to get a bad rating or not a bad rating, but are we just trying to get a certain rating? So we're adding all this extra language in there. I also don't love it when they like force a child to cuss type deal. In Big though, there is like one F bomb that's dropped by a kid in there, but it makes sense in the spot. So like it's all about circumstances. But yeah, for some of that stuff, like especially Netflix shows, there's a lot of shows on Netflix that like the first two or three episodes or even the first season is like either way overly sexualized or really super harsh foul language that doesn't make sense. And then once they get you hooked, because I guess that hooks a lot of people, then like the next two episodes is where it actually dives into like the meat of the story kind of deal. But yeah, I don't know. Just my opinion. My Rotten Tomato scores would not match up with the current ones that you see if you look at a movie. Um, the last Fast and Furious you watched was the one in Brazil. I have seen the other ones, but honestly, I couldn't like distinguish which one's which. But I do vividly remember the Brazil one. You trust my opinion over the approved movie critics. Well, I am glad somebody would. Hey, somebody actually went and watched Zombiever on my recommendation, and that's making me feel very proud of myself for recommending it. Also, the fact that you say you didn't hate it is wonderful too. So, it's definitely a movie that you have to have like a sense of humor for. Like like the race swapping and stuff in movies. It's have any of y'all seen the memes for all of that? Because there's one TikTok that I saw pop up, and it was just like reviewing all these memes of race swapping, and it was honestly hilarious. I don't know how to pronounce that, but no, I have not watched that. I've seen Squidbillies. Gonna have to add Zombievers to the list. When you watch it, Colton, just keep in mind that it's not supposed to be a good movie. It's one of those low budget horror movies that I think everyone should see in their life, and you'll never look at a beaver the same way. I may have seen it more than once in my life. Same for Thanksgiving. But we'll readdress Thanksgiving as Thanksgiving gets closer. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's already like 11:40. Yeah. I don't know why, but talking about movies has kind of like woken me up. But I probably need to go to bed, so I think we're gonna call it quits here. Um, and we will reconvene next Tuesday, and hopefully we'll have more exciting things to talk about. Maybe I'll watch a John Wick between now and then. Probably not though, because we've got a lot going on this week, and I still got to get something for my mom for Mother's Day. So I'll let y'all know what to figure out next week when I see y'all on Tuesday. I appreciate you all for being on here. And since we have some Patreon supporters in the chat tonight, thank you so much for all your support, and thank you for being on here tonight with us and me. And I will see y'all next week. Until then, I hope you all have a great week and good night. I'll check y'all later.